What's up, guys? This is another episode here in Nolan's Pod. Today, we're going to be talking about some breaking news that happened yesterday. This is involving the NFL. Now, it's the off season. This off season has slowed up tremendously, because guys have already signed. That period is already gone. These guys signed. These guys got traded. So the off season is slow to this point. But we do have the NFL draft coming up. But as you know, in any offseason moves in the league just do not stop. These moves do not stop. So, that being said, the breaking news is Stefon Diggs, former Buffalo Bills wide receiver, gets traded to the Houston Texans. Remember, it's been a lot of turmoil. It seemed like the last 2 to 3 years in Buffalo for Stefon Diggs. They lost that playoff game against the Cincinnati Bengals in 2022, and Stefon Diggs was not happy about how they lost that game. And then you turn around 2023, they lose to the Chiefs. No, I think 2021, I think it was, they lost to Cincinnati. In 2022. They lost at Arrowhead in the playoffs to the Chiefs. Okay. Stefon Diggs has not been happy about the last few times that these guys lost in the playoffs. Rightfully so. He shouldn't be happy. But you also have to be contributing to that too, Stefon Diggs. And then he started complaining. And then you see him on the sideline in one game pouting to the offensive coordinator and Josh Allen and those guys. He's pouting, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. I need the ball. Throw me the ball, because he feels like he's not getting enough touches. Okay, rightfully so. He wasn't getting enough touches. But when the defense is defending you and you're getting double teamed and sometimes triple teamed, Josh Allen has to make the right decision for the team to throw it to somebody else instead of trying to throw it to you in double coverage or triple coverage. You can't do that. So, it was a lot of turmoil there, and Stefon Diggs did a lot more pouting, to me, in my opinion. He did a lot more crying than he did actually contributing. Now, when you have a star wide receiver, you know the wide receiver always going to be crying. They always going to be a diva. It's always going to be something up, especially if they don't feel like that they're getting the touches that they feel like they should be receiving. Coming into training camp last season, this past season that just passed, Stefon Diggs was late coming to training camp. He was late reporting into training camp because he wasn't happy about what happened the year before last season. Now, my problem with Stefon Diggs is, okay, I get you not happy with what happened the year before. You're not happy with the year that happened before last year. You're not happy with what y'all did in the playoffs. Y'all haven't accomplished nothing. Y'all haven't won anything. I understand that, but you had a whole off season to wind down and think about what happened. You bringing what happened the year before into the new year, into this training camp. You bringing bad energy and bad vibes into a whole new year. Instead of just focusing on new year, you're still focused on last year. So Josh Allen and Sean McDermott has to get on the phone and talk to you about reporting the camp and trying to see what's going on with you. So finally, they get that stuff resolved. Stefon Diggs reports to camp, but he's not happy. And Stefon Diggs, he is very, very known for not taking accountability. When it's him, he wants to blame everybody else's. Everybody else's mistakes is everybody else's fault for them not playing well on the field. He has never, ever really taken accountability for anything. You got to stop pointing the finger at everybody else in the organization and point the finger at yourself. And Stefon Diggs also likes to send subliminal shots, it seems like, to the team. He be on Twitter, or X as they call it now, typing away, just taking little shots here and there, and it's like, and you go back and you look at it like, who was he taking a shot at? Was he taking a shot at Josh Allen? Was he taking a shot at the organization as a whole? Who was he taking a shot at? So with those little subliminal messages that he sends from time to time, it's like the management front office was like, okay, it's time to get him up out of here. But when it was Stephen A. Smith that reported that Stefon Diggs wanted to leave because he felt like that they missed their opportunity to capitalize in the playoffs, everybody thought what Stephen A. Smith was reporting was not true, and everybody thought Stephen A. was crazy. Well, Stephen A. is crazy. He is. He's by far crazy. But Stephen A. is not that crazy when it comes to reporting something. He just ain't reporting it for no reason. It's because he knows and he has his sources. So this past season ends. Stefon Diggs gets traded to a good team with the Houston Texans. He's going to play with C.J. Stroud. I mean, the Texans were already good right now. They added Joe Mixon along to the mix too. And then they added Stefon Diggs. The Texans were already good coming into this past season. They had a rookie head coach in D'Amico Ryans. And then they had a rookie standout quarterback in C.J. Stroud. Those guys were already good. They went 10-7 this past season. They were already good. They're finna improve. They just got a game changer in Stefon Diggs. And if Stefon Diggs can bring the right energy, can bring the good vibes and not be such a diva, and also hold himself accountable for once, just like, let me tell you, just like that catch that he was supposed to have caught, the one from Josh Allen. Josh Allen threw a dart down the field in the wild card game against the Chiefs this past year. Josh Allen threw a dart down the field. If Stefon Diggs makes that catch, maybe, just maybe, they might beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And maybe the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl. And maybe the Chiefs don't go on and play Baltimore. Maybe it's the Bills that would have went on and played Baltimore and Stefon Diggs makes that catch. But you know what y'all sat up there and did? Y'all, the first person y'all blamed was Josh Allen. That's the first person y'all blamed. Oh, Josh Allen threw it over his head just by that much. No, Stefon Diggs should have caught that ball. He had that ball, and he couldn't catch it. He could not reel it in. But it's everybody else's fault for you not catching the ball. Everybody else's fault. No accountability, no saying, oh, I should have caught that ball. That was my bad. I messed it up for a team. It's always everybody else's fault. So if Stefon Diggs can bring the right energy to the Houston Texans have a good culture. Do not come in there and mess that up for those guys, Stefon Diggs. Do not do that. Y'all have a real opportunity. Y'all have a shot at it. The Texans are going for it. Do not come in there and screw it up and be such a diva, Stefon Diggs. You're a phenomenal player. You're a great wide receiver. Just have your head screwed on right, Stefon Diggs. Just don't come in there sending subliminal shots to the team right away. Or you have one game where you feel like you didn't get the ball. Don't go to the media and say, I need to get the ball. They didn't throw me the ball, crying and complaining. Nobody wants to hear all that whining and complaining that you tend to do, Stefon Diggs. We're over it. You got traded to a new team. It's like you're starting over. This is going to be the third team that you played for in your career because you got traded from the Vikings to the Bills, and now you're getting traded from the Bills to the Texans. And then the Texans already have like 3 number 1 wide receivers with Stefon Diggs. That's Nico Collins and Tank Dell. And then you have tight end Dalton Schultz. And then I said they just added running back Joe Mixon with the other running back Damian Pierce. So they have a great offense. They're only getting better. Their defense, Will Anderson. They just signed Danielle Hunter, former linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. Derek Stingley Jr., the cornerback, Jeff Okudah, cornerback, former Falcon cornerback, former Detroit Lion cornerback. So they're only going to get better. They're really going for it. They really have a shot at this thing. No, it's not going to be enough for the Chiefs, but they have a shot at this thing. Transitioning to baseball, the Braves. We go on to play the White Sox, as I had mentioned, y'all. We were going on to play the White Sox. And they cried about the weather and maybe that we did not get a game. We wouldn't get this whole series in because they were crying about how the weather was going to be. And lo and behold, we did end up getting 2 games in out of it. It was cold and it was rainy. That Midwest weather, cold and rain, does not mix together really well, obviously. but we were able to get 2 games in. The third game is postponed until June because the third game it was snowing and we couldn't get. Obviously, you can't play baseball in snow, so we were able to get in 2 games, but not the third one. Game 1 of the series, we won the game 9-0. Charlie Morton made his Braves debut, or, well, I shouldn't say debut, but made his first start of the season. Charlie went 5 innings pitched. He allowed 3 hits. He only allowed 2 walks, and he struck out 6 guys. So for 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, only 3 hits allowed, and only 2 walks allowed, that's pretty good for Charlie. Obviously, Charlie gets lost in our rotation because the first guys that we're mentioning in our rotation all the time is Mad Max, Max Fried, and the quad god Spencer Strider. Those are the first 2 guys that we mentioned. And even after those 2 guys that we mentioned, we mentioned Chris Sale. Chris Sale haven't even been here. He hasn't even been here long at all for us to mention him over Charlie. Charlie is always the one that gets lost. Let me tell you something. Our pitching is going to come down to what Charlie Morton does. We know what Max is going to do. We know what Spencer Strider is going to do. A healthy Chris Sale, we know what he's going to do. Charlie Morton is the key to our success in the 4th spot in our rotation. If Charlie pitches well, we're good. If Charlie does not pitch well, I don't think we hold up. That's just me. That's my opinion. Charlie is not an ace by any means, but if he's on, those rest of the guys, they gonna take care of everything itself. Dylan Lee came out of the bullpen and pitched and struck out 2 guys. Tyler Massick also obviously followed him out the bullpen. He pitched and he struck out 3. So Dylan Lee and Tyler Massick, both our lefties, look very great out of the bullpen. The top of the 3rd inning, Travis d'Arnaud doubles, and he scores Ronald Acuna Jr. on a fielder's choice. And it was 1-0. That was the 3rd inning. Top of the 4th inning, Marcell Ozuna singles, and then Money Mike comes up and doubles, and Orlando Arcia drives both Marcell Ozuna and Money Mike in on a 2-run double by Orlando Arcia. That was the top of the 4th inning. It was 3-0 Braves. The top of the 5th inning, Austin Riley scores on a wild pitch by Brian Shaw. At that point, it's 4-0. Top of the 6th inning, Ronald Acuna Jr. doubles, and he drives in, and Ozzie drives Ronald Acuna Jr. in because Ozzie got an RBI double, and that drove Acuna in. Austin Riley singles, and Ozzie scores. It's 6-0 at that point. That's in the top of the 6th inning. So as the game goes along, our offense on a cold, rainy day where the ball's really not supposed to carry, we got 6 runs through 6 innings, 6-0 Atlanta. So, like I just said, rainy, cold, ball not carrying, to get 6 runs, that's pretty doggone good if you ask me. We had 2 separate rain delays in that first game. We had one in the 8th inning, and then we had one in the 9th inning. Well, we had one in the 7th inning, and then we had one in the 8th inning. And after those 2 rain delays, they ended up just calling the game because we had just came back out from the first rain delay, and then we played an inning, and then it started raining again, so you had to call another delay. Obviously, when we got out of that first rain delay, we were in the top of the 8th inning. Austin Riley hits a 3-run homer. It's 9-0 Atlanta at that point, and it's another rain delay again, and the game is called. We win 9-0. So a great first game for us against the Chicago White Sox. Chris Flexen was the starting pitcher for the White Sox. He went 4.1 innings pitched. He allowed 6 hits. He allowed 4 runs. He walked 3, and he only struck out 1 batter. Brian Shaw comes in from the White Sox bullpen and allows 2 runs. And Mr. Garcia comes in out of the White Sox bullpen and allows 2 runs. So a great game 1. As we move on to game 2 of the series, Leonardo Lopez, former Chicago White Sox, was making his Braves debut. He was phenomenal. He pitched 6 innings strong. He only allowed 4 hits, and it was 1 run allowed, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. So Leonardo only allowed 1 run, and that was on a bloop single from Gavin Sheets that just hit in no man's land. Gavin Sheets actually got jammed on the pitch by Renato Lopez, and it hit in no man's land, and it got down. It was 1-0 White Sox. That was unfortunate. Pierce Johnson came in out of the bullpen and allowed 1 run. That was another blooper by Andrew Vaughn in no man's land. It was 2-0 at that point. A.J. Minter also comes in, and he allows a home run to Paul DeYoung. So that's 3. That was also unfortunate. So our guys that came in out of the bullpen, Pierce Johnson and A.J. Minter, you can kind of say that they struggled, even though it was just unfortunate that they gave up those little runs. Marcell Ozuna, we had 2 runs in that game. The score ended up being 3-2. We obviously lose game 2, unfortunately. The score ended up being 3-2. Marcell Ozuna was the reason that we got 2, because Marcell went over the yard twice and hit 2 home runs. I wish that Marcell could have came up every time, because nobody else in our lineup could do anything else except for Marcell. So hats off to Marcell. He's off to a good start this season, as we expect nothing nonetheless from Marcell. Obviously, we know that he started off slow in March and April of last year, and we all got on him about it. And then he turned his season completely around when the calendar flipped to May. Well, it's a different story this year. In March and April, he just had a 2 home run game. He just had a multi-homer game. He was the only reason why we got the 2 runs off of his 2 homers. So, and then he hit that 3-run homer in Philly. So Marcell is feeling good about himself. Like I told you, Game 3 got postponed. So we had an off day yesterday, which was Wednesday. Today's Thursday, which was a regularly scheduled off day. And tomorrow is Friday. That's our home opener. We play the Arizona Diamondbacks. And that's going to be a good test for us coming home for our home opener to play the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are a very good team led by their manager, Torey Lovullo. And that's going to be a great series. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. And we're coming home. That's the more important thing. We're coming home. We played up north with terrible weather, cold weather. About probably two of our first 4 games were probably games that we played in the rain. So obviously Mother Nature did not cooperate up north, but we coming home to some nice weather and not as cold. That's all I have for you guys today. I will have that series for you guys when it is finished over the weekend. When it ends over the weekend, I have it for you guys Monday. So that's it. Let me know what you think about our Braves 4-2 start to the season this year. And the Tigers remain undefeated. They just beat the Mets today in the first game of a 2-game doubleheader. So the Tigers remain undefeated. I think they just went 5-0 to start the season. They have 1 more game tonight of a doubleheader against the Mets, and then they travel back home tomorrow, if I am correct. But that's it, though. So, hey, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I will catch you guys next week.